Hello, I'm the fanfic critic. I read it, you listen. Now, who here remembers the Winx Club? You know, the cartoon show where all the girls looked like wasps because their waistline was like way too small for their body. They had like hourglass figures so skinny that it didn't look like it was possible for them to breathe. And they even had wings, which made them look more like wasps. And it aired on 4Kids TV with Sonic X and The Kirby Show. Still don't know what I'm talking about? Well, if you don't know, you don't know. It's a cartoon show, a girly cartoon show. So, today's fanfic is going to be about the Winx Club. It is called Love Overcomes Darkness by Theresa Fan. Okay, you guys need to know that this fanfic was requested by the author themselves. And I know that the author is probably watching this right now, and I need to let everyone who wants to request a fanfic to me know, especially if you're a subscriber of mine or a friend of mine or both. You guys need to know that if you send a fanfic in and if it has a ton of mistakes and stuff, I'm not going to go easy on you. And for those who have watched my earlier videos, you know how I can be. So, Theresa Fan, if you're watching this, I'm just going to give you a little warning that I'm probably going to have a lot to say about this story because I already noticed an error and I haven't even read the actual story yet. The error, you may ask? Well, the title, Love Overcomes Darkness. You don't have any capital letters in there whatsoever. It's a title. You need capital letters in a title. Fanfic critic. Notice how I have capital letters? That's because that's my name. It's my title. The White House. You know where the president lives? That has capital letters because it's a title. It's a name. You need capital letters. Also, the two words overcomes, something tells me that they either need to be separated with a hyphen or be one word, because having them separate like that, it just doesn't look right to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, people. So the title needs work. So let's get on with the actual story. It's rated K. It's in English. It's drama adventure. The character is Bloom and it has 12 reviews, and this story has 5 chapters. Don't worry though, it's going to be short. So let's take a look at chapter 1, the kidnapping. Okay, I noticed a problem already, and it's not just with this sentence, it's with all the sentences. There is absolutely no capital letters whatsoever. The word at the beginning of each sentence, if the first letter in that word should be capitalized because it's the first word of the sentence. You need to capitalize those words. You need to. One night, Bloom was in her room when her phone rang. It was Sky calling her. There is no punctuations at all in that sentence. And the names Bloom and Sky, the first letters in those names should be capitalized because they're names. Hey Sky, said Bloom. Again, there's no punctuation marks whatsoever. No commas, no periods, no quotations. And that's the wrong hey. It should be H-E-Y, not H-A-Y. H-A-Y is horse food and cow food. That's what that hey is. Hey Bloom, will you come on a walk with me, said Sky. Okay, if she's asking a question, it should say asked Sky, not said Sky. Okay, Sky, okay, Sky, said Bloom. At least they have spaces. So Bloom went out with Sky on the walk. What they don't know is that Lord Darker is spying on them. He is planning on making Bloom his queen. Okay, people, this is an example of a sentence that is way too long and it needs to be broken up. Let me break it up for you. So, Bloom went out with Sky on the walk. Period. What they don't know is that Lord Darkar is spying on them. Period. He is planning, not planning, planning on making Bloom his queen. See how I broke that sentence up? It went from one sentence to 3 sentences. You need to break up your sentences, people. He has to wait until, okay, you do not need 2 L's for until. Bloom is alone, then at the right time he will kidnap her and he will take her back to Shadowhaunt. Bloom stared to get a headache. Don't you mean started to get a headache? So Sky was asking Bloom, "Hey Bloom, are you okay?" said Sky. You already stated in the last sentence that Sky was asking Bloom, so you don't need to have it say said Sky, and it should say ask Sky, not said Sky. Yeah, I am fine. I just got a big headache, that is all, said Bloom. So Bloom went by herself just to clear her head, put darker though this his chance to get her. Okay, let's translate it to what it should say. So, Bloom went by herself just to clear, not Claire, clear her head. Get rid of the word put and have it say, Darker thought this was his chance to get her. Hello, my darling Bloom, said Darkar. Darkar, what are you doing here, said Bloom. Well, Bloom, I am here to bring you to Shadowhaunt, said Darkar. Why? Wow! An actual punctuation mark. It's a question mark! Why? Said Bloom. To make you my queen, said Darkar. Queen? Said Bloom. Wow, another one! Yes, said Darkar. Then Darkar put a sleeping spell on her and went to the Shadowhaunt to turn her into his queen. Don't you mean then? Meanwhile, at Alfie, Sky is looking everywhere for Bloom, but he can't find her. Okay, I guess Sky is a man. I'm not familiar with the show, so. But he can't find her, so he went to the girls to tell them that he can't find Bloom anywhere. Anywhere. Don't you mean anywhere? They're missing an H. We're have to find her, said Stella. Don't you mean we have to find her? It should be we. It shouldn't even. We have to find her. That's what it should say, not were. She must be somewhere, said Flora. No, she's in space. I mean, yeah. Sky One was the last time you saw her, said Layla. Don't you mean when? Get rid of the A and replace it with an E. Is it really that hard for people to use something called a dictionary or spell check? I mean, I know that some people have bad grammar, but there's this thing called a dictionary. There's this thing called spell check. There's this thing called peer editing. People, use it, please! How many episodes have I been airing now? How many? I think I've aired enough episodes by now for people to get the hint. I feel like a broken record when I have to repeat these things, and it's frustrating. It really is. Especially seeing this person here who submitted this fanfic to me is someone who watches my show. Well, we were out on our walk, and then Bloom got a big headache and went off by herself, said Sky. We don't know why he wants her, says Techna. Okay, so I guess they now know that she was kidnapped? This came out of nowhere. You can't just have these things randomly show up. You have to explain things. Well then, let's... Don't you mean let's... This is how they spelled it. L-E-S-T. It should be L-E-T apostrophe S. Let's go and save her, said the Winx. Meanwhile, in Shadowhaunt, Darkar has Bloom tied to the wall. Wrong. Tied. It should be T-Y-E-D. Not T-I-D-E. Oh no, wait, maybe it should be T-I-E-D, not T-I-D-E. Completely disregard the first one. Let's continue. Dakar, when I get out of this, I am going to blast you with my powers, said a very angry Bloom. That's not how you spell angry. It should be A-N-G-R-Y, not A-N-G-E-R-Y. And what the hell is with the word U? Why do you have an extra U in there? This is how they spelled it. U-Y-O-U. It should just say Y-O-U. It was probably a deal that when they were typing it, they must have accidentally hit the U, but it's quite clear to me that they didn't bother checking their grammar before they posted this. Which, you know, it's not like the story is a big blob of texting. There's a paragraph space after each sentence. It's the layout of a poem more than it is of a story. Let's continue. Well, my darling, you are going to be my queen, said evil Dakar. Okay, if you're having the word a before another word that begins with a vowel, it should say an instead of a. It should say an evil Dakar, not a evil Dakar, because, you know, it's awkward having it say a evil, because, you know, it kind of makes you stumble a little. So that's why there's the word an. What your queen said in angry Bloom. Jeez. Oh yes, you are going to be the most beautiful queen, said Dakar. Well, get yourself someone, alas, to be your queen, said Bloom. This is how they spelled else. E-L-A-S. That's not even close to how you spell it. I don't even think there's an A in the real word else. No, there isn't, so what the heck is that? Else is a very simple word to spell, people. It really is. This is ridiculous. You shouldn't be spelling the word else wrong. You see, my darling, you are so perfect to be my queen, said Dakar. That's not how you spell perfect. Replace the I with an E. At the moment, Bloom was transformed into Dakar's queen. And there should be an apostrophe S if it's Dakar's queen, because it's his queen. So there should be a apostrophe S to mean possessive. So what is going to happen in the next chapter? Find out next time. Wow, they actually capitalized the C in chapter. So let's move on to chapter 2. Chapter 2, the mission. The Winks and the Specialists are off to save Bloom from Dakar, so they off to Shadowhunt to kill Dakar one and for all. Don't you mean once and for all? Well, at least they have a period at the end this time. Okay. O-K-A-Y. That's how you spell the word okay. So stop using the stupid abbreviated version of it. And they didn't even spell the abbreviated version of it right. The abbreviated version of it should be spelled O period K period. And they are missing the second period. Okay, are we ready to go, said Tecna. Yeah, we are, Tecna, said Stella. Let's go, said Tecna. Well, at least they're somewhat capitalizing the first letters of their names. Not all the names, but still, it's a bit of an improvement from the last chapter. In Shadowhunt, Dakar and his queen were planning on taking over the magical dimension. It's planning with 2 N's, not 1. Now the time has come to take over the universe, said Dakar. Yes, my lord, said Bloom. My queen, your friend come for you. The letter U is not a word. It is not a word. It is not a word. Maybe in another language it's a word, but in the English dictionary it is not a word. So Write out the word Y-O-U. Y-O-U. It's not that hard. It's only 3 letters. It's not like I'm asking you to spell out supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I'm asking you to spell out U with 3 letters because it's not that hard. Let's continue. It will be too late, said Darkheart. Okay, with that version of 2, it should have 2 O's, not 1. Yes, Master. Darkar, Bloom said, or said Bloom. In parentheses, by the way, Bloom is in a trance. I never would have guessed that, seeing she's calling him Master and is not being bitchy to him anymore. Author, do not state the obvious. Your readers are not idiots. So off they went to open the portal to get the ultimate power. And at least it ended with the period, and at least the first letters in U in ultimate and power are capitalized. In the Earth ship, they just have RF, so I don't know if that's supposed to be an abbreviation or if they're missing a vowel. I don't know. And at this point, I don't really care. Okay, off we go to Shadow Haunt, said Sky. Wow, more capitalized letters. Woohoo! Yes, we are, said the Winks and the Specialists at the same time. Now they are off to Shadow Haunt, but there are... Wrong there! It should be T-H-E-R-E, not T-H-E-I-R. There are some of Darkar's shadow monsters to stop them from saving Bloom. What are we going to do, said Stella. We can beat them, said Layla. Yeah, we have to save Bloom from Darkar in time, said Sky. Yes, you're right. I mean, they used the right your, but they forgot the E for after the apostrophe. So instead of Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, it says Y-O-U apostrophe R. Close but no cigar. Yes, you're right, Sky, said Brandon. They went... Why is there an apostrophe separating the T from the N? Went does not have an apostrophe in it. It's W-E-N-T, not W-E-N apostrophe T. They went out and killed... Oh my god. They forgot the E and killed, so instead of saying K-I-L-L-E-D, it just says K-I-L-L-D. Killed the shadow monsters, and there shouldn't be an apostrophe S for monsters. Seeing there's multiple monsters, it should just say monsters with no apostrophe. Just in time. In Shadow Haunt, where Darkar and Bloom are getting ready to go to Relix. They spelled getting wrong, if you couldn't tell already by my pronunciation of it. They're missing the T, the second T. Well, my queen, we are ready to go, said Darkar. Yes, my lord, we are, said Bloom. Very good, my dear, said Darkar. So now Darkar and Bloom are going to Relix. How will Sky and the rest get to save Bloom? Find out next time on Queen of Darkness. I thought the story was called Love Overcomes Darkness. Okay, that's the end of Chapter 2. Let's go on to Chapter 3. Oh no. Oh god. Hey all, I am so busy with work that I might not have time to do the next chapter, but I will do a Nug Her story when I have the time. But right now I am having some writer's block at the moment, and I am trying my very best on my first story, Kay. Talk to you all soon. I hate it when authors do this. It's an author's note as a chapter, and I think fanfiction.net has rules about this, stating this is a no-no. You're not supposed to be having author's notes be chapters. Author's notes belong at the beginning or the end of the story. So instead of having the author's note here, they should have just had it be in the next chapter explaining, I'm sorry I've been away for a while, I've been having writer's block. Explain it then. Don't make a chapter about it, because people who are waiting for the update, they're probably like, oh yay, a new chapter, and then they click on it and they find out it's an author's note. It kind of pisses them off. So don't have chapters be author's notes. They are really annoying. And there's a bunch of grammar mistakes in that, but seeing it's an author's note, I'm not going to touch it. Although it is tempting to. So let's move on to chapter 3, although it's technically chapter 4 according to fanfiction.net, but... Okay, sorry I took so long to do this chapter. I had a lot on my mind, so here's chapter 3. Sky's Love. In Relax, where Bloom and Darkar are. Okay, this is interesting. Darkar, weird squiggly symbol. Now Bloom, come here. No, I'm sorry. Now Bloom, come, we have work to do. Bloom, weird squiggly. What's with that symbol? Is this now supposed to be in script format? You can't just change from one layout to another. Although the first couple chapters had really bad grammar, you were to assume it was supposed to be written out like a normal story, where if the grammar was done properly, there would be quotations and stuff. Now it looks like it's in a really bad script format, and you're not even using the right punctuations. You don't switch from one format to another format. Just like you don't switch perspectives. Like in the Makuba is Abused story, and yes, I know I removed that story, but for those who did see the review, the problem with that story was that it kept on switching from first person to third person. You do not switch between perspectives, and you do not switch between layouts. It makes no sense, and it confuses the reader, and it pisses them off severely. So let's continue. So Bloom and Darkar set Ove to get the ultimate power. On the way, they're the Winks and the heroes, that's not how you spell heroes, you need another E in there, came to save Bloom from Darkar. Darkar, what are US doing here? Bloom is mine, she is meant to be with me. That's not how you spell you. Sky, we are here for Bloom. Give her back now. Darkar, why don't you ask her yourself? Bloom, come over here. So Bloom went over to Darkar. Sky, Bloom, it is my Sky, the one you love. Please come back. Don't use the text version of please. P-L-E-A-S-E. Not that hard to spell. So do not put down P-L-Z because that looks sloppy and bad. This is not a text message. This is a fanfic. So write it like a fanfic. Christ. Stella, come on girl. You can break free. Wrong break. They used the car brake. From the spell. Floor, Stella, you know only Sky can free Bloom. Stella, I know that, Floor. If you knew that, then why did you say something, you bubblehead? Darkar, ha ha ha, see, Bloom only obeys me. Bloom. S is the U? What? Huh? What the? Whatever, let's continue. Darkar, what is going on? Timmy, Bloom is getting free from the spell. Sky, Bloom, you can do it. Come on, Bloom, get free from Darkar. Darkar, no, Bloom, get back here. You are mine. You hear me, mine. Musa, wow. Look at Bloom. She is glowing red. Maybe it's her time of the month. Layla, now, Darkar, we will teach you not to mess with Winks. Darkar, grr. No mather? No mather? Don't you mean no matter? No matter? Bloom will be mine forever. Bloom, no, Darkar, I do not belong you. I belong to Sky, the one I love. So the Winx did a spell and Darkar was gone for good this time. Sky, oh Bloom, I thought I lost you. Bloom, Sky, you will never... That's not how you spell lose. You'll never lose me, not now, not ever. So Bloom and Sky kissed and they go back to Alfie. So tell me what you think. I did my best I could on this chapter. Why is the word chapter bolded? We all know it's a chapter. Well, I would assume this is the end of the story, but according to the navigation, we still have one more chapter to go, unless it's another author's note. So let's move forward. Let's get this over with. Chapter 4. Bloom back home safe in Alfie. In Miss F, S office, Miss F, Bloom are back, thank goodness that you're safe. I could go on all day about the grammar, but... Bloom, it is good to be home, Miss F. Winx, yeah, Bloom, we thought we lost you for good this time. Miss F, well, you girls better go to bed. Class starts at 8 a.m. sharp. Winx, so the girls went to their drom to bed in Bloom and Flora's room. Flora, it is so good to have you back, Bloom. Bloom, hee hee, yeah, Flora, I thought Darkar was going to get the ultimate power this time. Bloom, we should go to sleep now, Flora. Flora, you're right, Bloom, good night. Bloom, night, Flora. So what do you think? I'm going to do a sequel and it's going to be called Bloom X Baltor's Love. Okay, this is the end of the story, and if I'm going to start critiquing it, let's critique this chapter. It was a waste of time, it was not needed, throw it away, get rid of it. Have the other chapter be the final chapter, because that was more of a conclusion than this. This was just an afterthought. Okay, this story as a whole, I'm sorry, but this story was not that good. If you were to completely ignore the grammar mistakes and take a look at the quality of the story itself, it was very unorganized. It was rushed, it was unorganized, it was all over the place. The character development could have been a lot better. It was just lacking. It was seriously lacking. And if you were to count the grammar mistakes as well, that did not help matters at all. I mean, yes, they had paragraph spacing, but they had too much of it. I mean, there's no real paragraphs. It's all lines. It looks more like the layout of a poem than it does of a fanfic. And then, like, in the real chapter 3, how it goes from, you know, like a story layout to a script layout, that was not a good thing. So out of curiosity, let's see what the story got for reviews. See if I'm the only one who's being a sour apple here. Harry Lover 101 wrote, oh my god, as one word, I'm sorry but I can't read on any further. All this is a poorly written copy from the show. Minor differences are here, but this isn't a fan fiction. I'm sorry if I offended you. Okay, it kind of cracks me up, this person's review, because they're talking about how poorly written the story is, but when you look at this person's review, their review is very poorly written when it comes to grammar, so they're kind of being a hypocrite. Okay, Pup Nudie wrote, you should look into a beta. Grammar and the outline are the main issues to the story. It makes it very difficult to read. So it seems like at least a couple of the reviewers agree with me. I mean, I think if this story was touched up and was given more meat, and not just lard either, like character development and stuff, I think it could work for the show. But the grammar and the layout was atrocious, and the story was mediocre. Sorry, Theresa fan, but the story needs work big time. And seeing you stated it was your first fanfic, I will assume that you have improved, and hopefully this review will help you improve even more. And my advice to you would be to have a beta reader like, Pup Nudie wrote, or have peers look it over. In fact, use my review as like a peer reading in a sense. I mean, hello, I just pointed out all the grammar mistakes for you. So just fix it up a bit, okay? And it might be a bit better. But as it is right now, it's not a good story. Well, I'm the fanfic critic. I read it, you listen, and I'm going to sharpen this pencil for some random reason. I actually don't even have a pencil sharpener, so